all of you watching, guys, Kubert is playing the semifinal games in Division 2 right now. You don't want to miss that. Oh, is he casting? No, he's playing, right? Yeah, he's playing. So check him out over there. Kubert versus Golden Panther, live over Kubert's YouTube channel. Good comeback where we have the other semifinals over here. Or stay over Kubert's. Really good content over there as well. Kubert. Really cool guy.
open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me. I Feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only you can make me
So, everybody, let's get ready to be hyped here. As we have Black Forest as the first map of the semifinals coming up now. Both players setting up the lobby right now. Black Forest, map number 1. Map bans, Two Lakes, Urban Frontlines, and Hesse. And we already have the matchup as well, as we're gonna get a second Panzer Grenadier for Pro Kommy versus a KDA for Fortitude fans. And for people who followed the league lately, Fortitude fans KDA is pretty serious. So we will see what fans can do with that. And yeah, we will get you guys some predictions ongoing as well. That is not what I wanted. I think I got to stop that one again. Or no, did somebody else stop it? No, wait.
I didn't stop it. I was betting on it.
Sorry. I will open up a new one stall. Fortitude fans with KDA. Or I didn't realize. Sorry. I'm not used to my mods being so active. I thought I was typing it in right as you were, and I thought I by accident clicked go. And yeah, just realized afterwards that it was yours. So yeah, Fortitude fans and Pro Kommy here. A lot of stuff coming up there. The bands: 11th ACAF, 8th US, 35th, and 2nd UK. So division bands really relatively standard for the current build as well, especially when you consider that 11th is a division that Fortitude fans is super known for.
Yeah, I'm really just I'm gonna do a big bet, and you can get the channel points off me. Meanwhile, Protoss, you can go do push-ups. I will do them in solidarity, as long as you do them as well. But I'm really thinking about this. I mean, on Pro Kommy, Second Panzergren is really powerful. Second Panzergren is one of the more powerful divisions right now in general. Just they haven't been hit by the nerfs, and if this is happening on the current patch, the Panzer Grenadiers have gained sniper rifles, and just largely, I think Panzer Second is in a really good situation. But if we go back and we look about Fortitude Fence kind of innovating KDA play, Fortitude Fence's thing is that they attack a single position and then they breach that position. And that's something that you can do with 11th and the other 11th as well. But Fortitude Fence, using the KDA's very varied and numerous units, always having trying to have the right specific combination at the start. And on the long term, even though second Panzergren does have really good anti-air, they have the Tornadoes, F-16s, as well as the Ihawks. So to win the air game, Fortitude would have to invest into the heavy artillery and Malakas. But yeah, I think but I guess that Pro Kommy is a slower player generally. Pro Kommy likes to build perfect engagements and doesn't really push into risky plays. And I think that might play a little bit into Fortitude Fence using the Smirch micro to take out key units, whether it may be like
yeah, I don't think we will see much Smirch play from Fortitude though. I think we will see a lot of air, and we will see the T-62 spam that he played against before this tournament. Like, we didn't see Fortitude fans artillerying much in previous games.
That's what I've been thinking here. That I think they just kind of a little bit maybe inherently Pro Kommy will be the slower and the more passive player. And we are playing on Airport, and Airport is a really
we're
big
playing on Black Forest.
Map. Oh, Black Forest? Oh, I guess the map that they showed there. Oh yeah, I look at the wrong fact. Okay, well, Black Forest. I mean, that's way less RTable map, even though it's still pretty big. So you do get some.
Yeah, but it is like KDA can do some shenanigans in the forest there. It's a really good air spam map as well. And yeah, KDA just can use the T-62s decently well there as well. And I'm wondering what Fortitude fans' idea is with his KDA at the moment. He has a decent variety of playstyles with them, but Smurge play usually is not high on that list. So yeah, it's also with the change to the Panzer Grenadiers and so on, and the Jaegers, the infantry tab of second got a good bit more expensive, especially with the Martyrs also becoming more expensive. So you can grind out their infantry potentially now again. Though the infantry is a bit stronger, like the Panzer Grenadiers with the sniper rifle, like they stun quite nicely, but the prices are quite high as well now. So I'll see how that goes. Like the Panzer Grenadiers here are quite nice, and yeah, first semifinal of the tournament, in the semifinal in Division 1 here. Second one will be between Forward and Tiberius Rancor. A date still to be determined, but that one will be a good one as well. And yeah, pretty high players here. Fortitude fans and Pro Kommy doing really well in the latest tournaments, and especially on the ladder as well. So that is going to be a really, really exciting one here. And if you want to support all of that, you can do so via the Matcherino page. You can help out funding the tournament by direct contribution, by subscribing to the Matcherino YouTube channel, not by the claim code buttons anymore, but that is because you were so awesome. 50 of you already did that. And yeah, thanks for that, guys. Whilst we are waiting for the game here to set up.
I think it's running now.
And
at least it disappeared.
No, that's the wrong lobby. That's not the right lobby.
Oh, okay. But I went into the lobby and the Pro Kommy was in there.
Yeah, Pro Kommy. I don't know why he set that up, but it's not the right map and it's not the right lobby. Fortitude fans has the lobby set up as well, and he's still in session. So everything, we are still waiting here. We are still waiting for the semifinal to go up, which means
Well, in that case, it's time to go do some push-ups, Protoss.
Exactly. So yeah, guys, obviously push-ups on the day. I have to be on camera again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and the 20. And that will be also the last, guys, for today.
And I'm done.
As we gotta have a stream here to go.
All right, so that's a warm-up. Everybody, go like the stream on YouTube. All 19 of you.
And yeah, it's gonna be a really fun one, guys. I'm really excited for this one. Lobby setting up still.
So
Kommy,
betting
hopefully
currently
not.
going 2v1 for Fortitude. So wanna earn some Protoss bullying points? You can do that maybe by betting on Pro Kommy. Underrepresented on the bets right now.
And yeah, it's gonna be a really interesting one here. As yeah, Pro Kommy, a bit slower in the approach as always. A bit more focused. Whilst Fortitude fans is always all out, in your face gameplay. And yeah, we're still waiting here for the setup. They have been in session, they have picked the divisions for a while now. Not quite sure what takes so long there on Pro Kommy's side. He's unfortunately always known for taking a bit longer. Fortitude fans back in menu.
Yeah, it takes some time for the Doves to go to Kaliningrad and back, you know. Flying all the data bytes first to Moscow and then through Moscow. back to Germany. Oh wait, no, Fortitude is not German. Back to America, actually. Is Fortitude American? I always assumed.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. All right, betting evening out. Fortitude fence still on the late. KDA rush versus kind of slower fundamentals. Second Panzer Grenadier on Black Forest. I mean, what are the basic engagements that we're going to have? Obviously, Fortitude will try to have a ATGM, most likely like Maljutkas and Conquerors on large amounts, trying to hold the open area, but trying to contest early on in the town will probably be counterable by Pro Kommy. Pro Kommy has shown a capacity to build up some really good engagements if you allow them to. Like Black Forest is such a map where it's very difficult to drive the point home, so to speak. It's very difficult to finish the game early. And in this way, I think Fortitude will have to actually do some major trickery to finish
Yes,
this.
and we have the game now coming up, guys. Pro Kommy and Fortitude fans here setting up. Pro Kommy on the left side in blue. Fortitude fans will come in on the right side in red here. And we are at the beginning of a best of 5 here. So let's get rid of all this stuff. And yeah, Fortitude fans bringing in second Pentagram here. KDA versus Pro Kommy's second Pentagram here. And yeah, both really know those divisions well. Both also really fit there. So we start in a comfort pick for both sides here in the game number 1. We'll see if that keeps on going, or if they will go into more full-on meta picks. I mean, both divisions are pretty close to the meta as well. Both
second is absolutely one of the more powerful divisions right now on the ladder. It's just not new, so people don't get excited about it as much as DLC divisions.
Yeah, as I think, I also believe that I'm not sure that the Panzer Grenadier new sniper rifle and extra hit point thing, I don't think that was a buff with all the other changes together, like the Jaeger's hit point reduction, the Martyrs getting more expensive and so on. I feel like second Panzer Grenadier still got nerfed across the board, so it's still solid, but it's not an S tier division by any means. And yeah, we'll see how it fares here against Fortitude's special tactics. Yeah, this way around.
Yeah, Fortitude starting on the right side, so any kind of a incursion from Fortitude will have to be in the Bravo and Foxtrot, likely. Bravo and Foxtrot are areas with way more wider sightlines. You can use vehicles, you can use tanks on long ranges quite well here. They are okay, well, something happened.
Something happened here, yeah. Oh, wow. They had 2,000 starting points set up. Okay.
Damn.
You can see that Pro Kommy usually doesn't play with... Okay, we are back in 1,500 points this time around. Yeah, starting points are the same. So we can switch around. And yeah, this time they have 1,500 points each. They set it up quickly as well. Can't see that Pro Kommy doesn't do this too often. Like, that he usually just jumps into ranked and plays, or jumps into lobby with his friends and plays on a server that already exists.
Or jumps in on ranked right as T-Man plays is streaming, famously a stream sniper.
Obviously. And yeah, let's see. Jäger Aufklärers coming around now as the first unit. Let's get the hype guys up here. Pro Kommy and Fortitude fans, we finally got it here. After a long season already, with a lot of games played here, and strong opponents already pushed by the wayside by these two. They meet in the semifinals. They are already in the money with this, but the difference is pretty big. It's, if they get 4th place, only $31 at the moment. That's a nice dinner. Or for the winner, it's $158 already. So
Oh, both players opening up their deployments by heavy anti-air usage. Fortitude fans buying a Book and a OSA, include as well as a flak tank, whereas Pro Kommy ordering two Vet 1 Eyehawks, both immediately and purposefully investing into anti-air. I think very understandable, both sides. Neither of them. KDA is not specifically vulnerable to aircraft, but the second Panzergrenadier has a lot of stuff that can kill large amounts of infantry units, such as the Tornado HE bombers. I believe the Harrier HE bombers as well in the early game, and of course the Merschwaffe, which is really good at cleaning up a small area of buildings, for instance, and can thus immediately change the course of the game. And Pro Kommy most likely is aware that Fortitude Fence's playstyle has often involved a massing of anti-tank planes, as well as the light MiG-21 bombers, which can also be incredibly valuable because they are so fast and do such reliable damage. Unfortunately, they do get one shot by the Eyehawk, so might also be that Fortitude knows that Pro Kommy knows, and thus is going on starting out with a heavier investment in the ground units. The amount of T-62s here.
that's
T-62Ms
nothing new here, though. Like, this is not a you know what the enemy is doing. This is exactly what Fortitude fans did on Black Forest against Soyuz and against Woe Is Me as well, I believe. Like, or no, it was against Soyuz, I believe, where he did that, right? Like, he just went into the T-62 play. He loves the T-62s on this map, and he doesn't start with air on this. I mean, the times where where Fortitude fans was air opening every single game are long over, and this is his KDA opener. He hasn't directly air spammed with KDA in a long while, and when he will bring KDA air spam out, he will bring Seed, and then the Eyehawk will have a tough time anyways. So yeah, this is the Fortitude fans opener of the day, and the question is, does Pro Kommy know that, though? Or does Pro Kommy still only know that, oh yeah, Fortitude fans is the air spammer guy?
That is possible. I don't know how much Pro Kommy speaks English, so how much he kind of participates in the larger discussion about these players and their happenings. And but it's also possible that Pro Kommy might think that Fortitude fans knows what Pro Kommy knows, etc., etc. But the safe side is always to have at least some amount of investment into anti-air. You're going to need it eventually. The other player is going to buy aircraft eventually. When you're playing these divisions, it would be quite kind of unlikely that the anti-air doesn't pay itself off in one way or another. Often, especially if there's an important engagement going, a player might just send a plane knowing, or without having any recon advantage. A player might send a plane up for whatever reason. So and on this map, if you have radar AA on the middle, you can pretty reliably protect the sides as well. But yeah, these T-62Ms are not that cheap. They're 155 points, and even though they are decent tanks, very slow but decent tanks, en masse, if they engage a single Leopard 2, for instance, Leopard 2 of second Panzergrenadier only has 60 in armor, and despite its amazing gun and speed, it can't really take that many hits from the T-62 blob, and taking out a crucial, expensive tank on this map matters more than on some others, because the reinforcement routes are not that straight. They have to move and bob around, and units take their time to get on the board. And I think this massing of the T-62s here is to make sure that the first tank that gets met, whether it be a heavy tank or a group of lighter Leopard 1s, that Fortitude doesn't have to buy the AT planes to deal with it.
Yeah, he also has HGMs on these tanks. And those ATGMs are pretty nice. They one-shot kill the Marders. They are long range, 2,800 meters, outranging most of the Milans, or like all of the Milans and all of the ATGMs NATO can bring. So in a lot of scenarios, you can just use them for long-range engagements and win with that way. And that is a nice extra here. The Milan 2s coming out as teams on the ground, though, for Pro Kommy. And we have some Fallschirmjägers here around as well. So a really solid and slow start here from both sides. Jaguar coming around, Panzer Grenadier coming around as well. That's on the other side. We have an Aufklärer in the south here towards Alpha. A couple of Aufklärers in the center. And yeah, then this big tank blob. So both sides seem to be pretty ready. And yeah, both sides come around for some action. The Marder 183 is 5 frontal armor. So yeah, it doesn't quite one-shot them. The Marder 182s, those get one-shotted. But still, leaves them nearly dead. So
yeah, the Jaguars are 0 bet, so if they get a single hit, even though they won't die, they will most likely be combat ineffective. The positions for the Fallschirmpala Milan 2s as well as the Fallschirmjägers are pretty standard here. I think the pushing on the right side of Bravo is a bit further than expected, but knowing that your opponent is likely bringing out like KDA Aufklärers, the Fallschirmjägers can be a bit more daring when it comes to taking on the early positions. If you look at the positions on the right of Bravo, these halls are amazing if you want to hold them with ATGMs. The buildings and the forest provide a lot of good site cover. There's a lot of space for you to hide in defense in depth infantry, so it's very difficult to rush past it or push it. And the area in general is just very defensible. And holding this area, keeping it resupplied with the tanks that can immediately quickly run behind cover, as well as the Milan 2s, which can move from building to building, resupply, heal, keep themselves alive. This is a good investment, especially knowing that Fortitude is not really an artillery player. Generally, KDA can buy a Malka, a super heavy howitzer, and just blow out any ATGM teams out there. But it will be left to see if Fortitude does that.
Left to be seen. There is coming in now. T-62s trying to capture the leader, capturing the rear, and then the other 4 already pushing on here. The Milan 2s getting into position. Fallschirmjäger pushing in there. Osa has to be a bit defensive. KDA Schützen and the Soviet military police here coming up. Has SVDs and 2 PKMs, so infantry firepower way above the one of the Fallschirmjäger. But the Fallschirmjäger
the recon helicopter spotting that Charlie is completely free, and Pro Kommy moving one of the Fallschirmjägers to threaten the resupply route of the town. This is Pro Kommy is now, even though this is not Pro Kommy's opener is not designed for aggro. There is not a large mech blob out here, but having these positions sets Pro Kommy up for way better engagement than not having these positions. The Feldhaubitz 155 already getting bought out, so Pro Kommy investing into artillery, and the Jaguars, the Eyehawks, and even with the Leopard commander here, we'll see how the Leopard will be able to engage these T-62s, or if they can at all. But if these two Fallschirmpala Milans get to fire at the same time, they should wreak havoc on the T-62s, even if they can't kill them. Also, the Fallschirmjägers have the Panzerfaust 3s, so any T-62s that get close will be... The Panzerfaust can fire very fast and very accurately and can penetrate the armor.
And yeah, Zagorodiat pushing forward here together with the KDA Schützen. T-62M's trying to help out here. Milan 2 finds the leader, T-62. The other one's still sitting behind the smoke. And this engagement here, Milan 2 goes down. Leo 2 is around the corner. Not really spotted by anything yet. Okay, Leo 2 gets a T-62 side-shotted immediately. Jaguar 2 there, pretty scary as well. And we come in with a Harrier HE to deal more damage here as well. Seed plane not getting the book, but getting it routed. It luckily for Fortitude fans was able to turn off its its main system before getting routed, so the seed plane can't spot it any further. But this engagement, Fortitude Fence needs to get a kill onto this Leo 2. Otherwise, this is a terrible engagement here for him. And he won't get that. Good smoke.
T62s, I believe the T62s don't have autoloaders, do they?
No, they have really low rate of fire and no autoloader. So when they get stressed out, they drop from 7 to 3 or 4 rounds per minute. And that is a pretty brutal rate of fire.
Right. But the MiG-21 BIS fighters, fighter bombers, are now available. These guys will dive into very risky but very accurate bombing runs. Unfortunately, getting one shot by an IHawk, and IHawks in general are pretty good. The IHawks have even been up-vetted, so they're very reliable at that job. And Fortitude Fence running off with the second MiG, realizing that this is not the soft target that he hoped it was. Though the Zagradotriad managed to push through and kill the recon infantry at the front here, and artillery, extremely close range artillery positioning here, making sure that this artillery, the Feldhaubitze, will be very accurate, managing to get perfect hits against the KDA Schützen and Aufklärers.
Yeah, and that's the pro Kommy classic. Like, he loves those positions for artillery. And yeah, it means that the artillery is in a bit of a risk if the enemy ever pushes through you. And it is also easier to counter battery. But pro Kommy is really quick on getting units out of there again. Also, liking his positioning of the mount cut slightly next to it, that the mount cut doesn't get immediately stunned down after the first hit, but still is close there to get the unit out of there. And then T-62s and Luxus moving around. And Fallschirmjägers pushing around.
KDA all of these KDA troops are not in fighting condition. The Zagradotriad, the KDA Schützen, they're all running off, as well as the 3 of the T-62s. Meanwhile, Pro Kommy managed to have a backline Fallschirmjäger though in the town, though it got driven off. And there's a Lux in a position to hurt reinforcements through the forest pathways, as well as a 1 Fallschirmjäger down southeast in a position to hurt the enemy reinforcements. In general, amazing position for Pro Kommy so far, despite those engagements not going perfectly. At this point, Fortitude Fence needs to recover and try to have another attack as soon as possible. The point tick isn't as crucial, but the problem here is that there really don't seem to be that many answers for this Pro Kommy slow and methodical play. A single really good engagement, maybe up north here, could gain a lot of ground for Fortitude Fence, but at this point, it seems like they're in a pretty passive set, unfortunately.
Yeah, T-62 MV coming against the Martyr, getting the kill there with a crit. Panzer Grenadiers here pushing forward. Whilst running, they can't use their sniper rifles and the medium MG though, so the Aufklärer is having a decent time there. T-62s here pushing in close. Might get some decent damage here, but they still will get killed off here quite quickly. So the northern push here for Fortitude going okay. Lux and Mi-8 here fighting a fight in the rear in the forest. Mi-8 with the rockets and the Malyutka will get the win there. But it's a +2 here for Pro Kommy. Already 283 points ahead. And Fortitude Fence didn't get the playthrough through that he wanted to get here in the early game.
Yeah, the Fortitude can't even defend Alpha, only reading the recon squad up in the church tower as Pro Kommy's infantry move in. This has now become a decisive battle game for Fortitude, and having to attack on this open area against the 2nd Panzer Grenadier is a really difficult ordeal, considering the 2nd on defense, 2nd's tanks can just go backwards about as fast or maybe even faster than the T-62s can follow them. The T-62s are already quite slow, very slow, with 40 kph, and any single hit on the tank will make the cohesion go low. The cohesion, there is some amount of cohesion resistance because these tanks are up-vetted to 1, and or at least some of them are, and they have.
Oh my goodness! What is this IHawk positioning? Damn! Pro Kommy with the the hot Eyehawk drop there against the Mi-8. Gets the kill with it. But it's just like, drive-by Eyehawk shooting. That's just such a pro Kommy move. Like, you don't see movement like this from any other top player at the moment. But yeah, it needs micro, and it is risky, but it's still a calculated risk, and it got the Mi-8 killed, so it did absolutely do its job.
Pro
loaded back
Kommy,
in and got out of there.
Pro Kommy, the Luke spotted it, and Pro Kommy recognized that his front line was completely vulnerable to the Mi-8, and this pre-microed it out. But now this engagement is happening here. Tanks are all standing still. The tanks with the black bar above their health are on low cohesion. This means that their accuracy, speed, and rate of fire have been critically lowered. And if they are guiding a missile, for instance, the missile will be at -75 accuracy. And so these low-tech tanks from Fortitude Fence really just need to get their first shots in to do damage. Otherwise, the Germans in their better positions will be able to defend on long range.
And yeah, Jaguar here trying to engage. Ooh, not quite getting the hit there. Meanwhile, Aufklärers in the south sitting around. And the Führer pushing forward. Sagordiat pushing in. And
so far, Pro Kommy is doing the premier move of fighting against an enemy blob, which is to stretch the blob. Leader and numerous infantry squads already moving to the southern town. Getting these pioneers in, getting this leader in here, the martyr to cover a reinforcement route. This is something that requires some kind of a response from Fortitude Fence. Otherwise, Pro Kommy will be able to fortify this town and finish the concave of fighting against the mech blob. Fortitude is in a quite bad position here and needs to get a breakthrough sooner rather than later.
yeah, T-62s moving around. Milan 2 over here, trying to get some hits. Layer 23 in the forest here is really scary as well. And the T-62s, if the layer 2 numbers get too high, they can't deal with that. So then artillery might have to be brought in. Smirch, like, Fortitude Fence is not known for his Smirch play. He still brings them in his deck. We have seen it a couple of times in the past, but it's not something that he opens with and plans for massively. But in this game here, a Smirch, or play with the big 203mm howitzers or something like that, the Malkas would be necessary at this stage, I believe, because yeah, the Malyutkas and the T-62s, they won't do it here at this stage anymore. The breakthrough that Fortitude Fans wanted to get in the early couple of minutes, the trades that he wanted to get into, he didn't get into them. And yeah, we see the surrender here. Similar to what we saw in the game versus Chaichan. He was able to win that there later on, but yeah, Pro Kommy here with a really clean fashion, and the Fortitude Fans kind of KD8 style here, not working at all in this matchup.
Yeah, that's any cheap points for the people who bet against me, let me tell you. But this is a best of 5, so we're going to have a lot more games. No worries if one of them ends a little bit prematurely. But yeah, Fortitude's opener, they're really the problem I have with the T-62s is that they can't hold up fights. They don't have the autoloaders, so they can't keep up the fight. They don't have enough armor to compensate for the slow speed, and they are just expensive, just a little bit too expensive that you can't drive them into risky situations in the way you would do with something like a Leopard 1, for instance. It just it does have its it is a decent medium tank, if it's used to support a stronger infantry play with the 56th Desantensturmovaya, for instance, but when it has to carry the battle on its own, it just it's just not really capable of doing that. Like the single Jaguar could threaten the entirety of the T-62 fleet. And I gotta say, the double Eyehawk opener did manage to pay off. We didn't see any planes, any attack planes from Fortitude after the Eyehawks ruined the MiG-21s.
Yeah, really solid play here by Pro Kommy, and that means now that both of these players are going on to get another pick and ban phase on here. And yeah, the next of the maps will be picked. We have 8 maps in the map pool. If we have a look here into the rule set real quick, and we have already played on Black Forest. We have a ban on Urban Frontline. We have a ban on, what was the other bans again? Give me a second. Urban Frontlines, Hesse, and Two Lakes. Right, so we have Death Row left. We have Vertigo Duel left. We have Airport left. And Mount River. So I expect the Mount River game actually here as game number 2. People really like it in the competitive scene. It's annoying that it isn't in a rank pool anymore. I have no idea why it isn't. It played well in all the games we saw of it. Hopefully it comes back. But yeah, Mount River Duel is what I would expect. Or maybe the airport map. But it is Pro Kommy's pick, so I don't think Pro Kommy will pick Airport Duel against Fortitude fans, because that is pretty much a Fortitude fans map. But yeah, that's what is gonna be down to. Fortitude fans currently not online in game.
Airport
No, in menu there.
Airport would be good for Pro Kommy, I think.
No, that's a Fortitude fans map.
Is it really?
Yeah.
But Pro Kommy is such a reliable artillery player and defender.
Yeah, but it has so many lanes and so much space, and like Fortitude fans loves to have early game space.
I guess that's true. I think I just remember too many failed aggro openers in League on Airport. People like Medi trying to push the limits of the map a little bit too far and getting punished by more fundamental center players.
Yeah, but I will see. I would expect still Pro Kommy not going for that map. I don't think he is the biggest fan from what we've seen in past picks and bans out of him for that map. I would expect, as I said, Mount River or Vertigo maybe. Yeah, that as the next map. And yeah, Fortitude fans, I don't see him on KDA again. Like, I believe we will get an American kind of division. I don't think we will get one of first. Like, one of first 35th, our division said he has played quite a lot lately, but I know that he isn't super high on either of them on the current patch. 11th ACAF and 8th might get banned again, so maybe 3rd US. Though I'm not sure if he played that much. Maybe 82nd. Like, those kind of divisions I could see here. And then outside of that, not quite sure. I haven't followed his YouTube channel too much lately, and he hasn't also uploaded that much lately, so I'm a bit out of the loop on the Fortitude fan stuff. What would you expect out of Pro Kommy here, though? I would expect just another solid division, right? Like 8th Infantry,
yeah, Pro Kommy, 8th Infantry, 3rd Armored. Even if some of these important ones get banned, even a Soviet division could maybe work.
Yeah, like 27th, 39th, I could absolutely see as well.
Yeah, the 20s, the Pro Kommy special is taking out heavy main battle tanks on 0 vet, just to make sure that you have the numbers in the in the what do you call it now? In the end game, the Pro Kommy is one of the players who I trust with 0 vet MBTs, which are generally a bad choice because Pro Kommy engages with them so carefully. Any division with a heavy amount of tanks and decent enough, varied and versatile enough rest of the deck will be able to carry Pro Kommy into the tank spam part, I think.
Yeah, 56 I believe is the division that Fortitude fans also played a decent amount. That could be an interesting pick here as well. It has his loved T62s as well, and a bit more stuff around it. So I'm not too sure how good it is on the current patch. Obviously 76 is an option in the current meta as well. Like, this division is just pretty crazy, but I don't believe either of the players has played it super much. Like, there's a lot of people on the rank ladder right now that run rampant with this division. I don't believe either of the two players here is one of them, though. So,
maybe Fortitude Fence has practiced 76 on an alt and actually is very prepared on it. You know, it's possible. It's the division fits very well on his playstyle.
yeah, I don't know if he has an alt account, though. I don't believe so.
Yeah, but I mean, the best alt account is something people don't know about, right? That's why I always don't have one. I actually don't have one, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, that means buying another copy of the game. But yeah, so this is going to be interesting. Picks and bans starting to come around here, I believe, again. Yeah, there we go. Same bans as before, and oh, we got Mount River. I was right. You were wrong.
What?
And we get 27th and 101st for Fortitude fans. So the 101st, I know he is a fan of the division. I thought he saw it as too weak, but maybe he has a plan here. 27th on the side of Pro Kommy makes absolute sense as well. So yeah, second game on Mount River, 101st versus 27th guards. Start right here. Do you want to do the... Let me do the predictions, then you can gamble as well. So, yeah. Who will win game number 2?
Yeah, I think... But Mount River, I think 101st is in a pretty bad way on Mount River. Doesn't really have the space to exploit the helicopter advantage that much. The helicopters are, of course, good anyways if you micro them, but 27th Tunguskas will be able to kill even the heavier Apaches pretty easily. I think the small map benefits one of the players with the longest range AA, and I think the longest range AA here will be the F-15s. So I think the air game will go to the 101st, but the rest of the kind of the ability to counter the helicopters will be going for Pro Kommy.
Yeah, like having both the Tor and the Tunguska to deal with the Apaches means that the helicopters just can't do much there. And that means that it kind of comes down to the ground play there, because yes, you have F-15s as fighters, but the rest of the air tab is basically irrelevant. Like, you have one card of decent-ish F4E HEs, but it's nothing that you can completely air spam with. Like, this is not a Fortitude fans kind of 11th ACAB where you have all the F-16s running around rampant. That's not gonna happen here, so I wonder what the playstyle will be. I feel like we will get a really aggressive infantry push with a couple of M1 IPs being fed in behind it, but I'm also really skeptical about that working against the 27th. Like, I feel like 27th is such a good pick here against 101st, and I believe it was the counter pick 101st, which makes this a bit weird.
Yeah, I think I think there might be a plan of trying to push the area right past the middle, using helicopter dropped infantry, maybe early Apaches or something, to gain some ground and hold that ground on the close range engagements. 27th will have pretty big superiority if it's allowed to get the distance, but on Mount River it's possible to engineer a close range fights, and if these fights happen on close range, the 101st infantry will beat them, will win. They are faster. They reach the fight faster. They are very numerous, and the squads are better.
Yeah, and here we have more little Stalkies here coming around. I mean, a lot of BMP2s, BMP3s, like those will eat up the BMP2s and BMP3s will eat up the really solid infantry of the 101st. Like, the 101st infantry is great, but you don't really have anything amazing to deal with those IVs. Like, that is the issue of the division, especially since the nerf of the Dragon 2. Like, you don't want to invest into Toad 2s to deal with BMP 2s, because that is really expensive. And you have your MY9IPs, but they're pretty low in numbers. Maybe the Muley Ito, but then you sacrifice a super important tank slot for it. Your helicopters can do it, sure, but you won't be able to get them around easily, your Apaches. So, dealing with the BMP2s and BMP3s here will be a real pain.
Yeah, I think the way that I would do this would that I would try to fight the early game with infantry, and behind this build myself a strong enough force of Totus, of Humvee Tos, as well as the M1 IPs. The Humvee TOW will be crucial here, I think, because it has good stealth, and so even if it lacks the range and the speed of the Bastion missile of the BMP3s, it might be able to fire first, as long as the Spetsnaz get removed from the battlefield, of course. The Spetsnaz main point in 27th will be the spot for the long-range engagements, and Fortitude will need to take care of those if the lighter units of 101st want to be able to contest this.
Yeah, we have the game up now, so let's jump right in there and let's figure out how the situation develops here as Fortitude fans things around the 101st now, and go Kommy coming in with the 77th Guards here. Setup is starting, and it's gonna be an interesting one here.
Okay, so I actually think Fortitude Fence is on a little bit worse side compared to considering the division. I think for the place that Fortitude really would like to conquer, if the sides were reversed, would be the area northwest of X-Ray in the middle. But there aren't really, even though there are buildings northeast of the middle point, there isn't as much cover for infantry units to hide in and try to ambush the IFVs. Though on the other hand, no, up north you can also just put up the BMP3s. You can even put them against the river and the river tree line, because that's a position where they can cover basically both of the at least the alpha side, and push the Papa with enough support. So yeah, the BMP3s will be a massive problem here. I guess you can try to micro your Apaches against them, but that always carries a risk of Tunguska or a fighter plane coming out and strafing. Fighters are a very real threat against Apaches nowadays. Just a single hit from a heat-seeking missile might easily take almost all of the health away, and the HP nerf has hurt the ability for Apaches to be overpowered significantly.
Yeah, and we have the Dabs coming around here now. Immediately. They still have 8 hit points, so they didn't get changed. And helicopters in general are still buffed outside of the fight against fighters, and against fighters you have F-15s. So I think the situation for the most part here in this matchup is still better for helicopters than it has been 3 patches ago, though it obviously is weaker than it was 1 patch ago, when helicopters were pretty stupid. We all have seen Fortitude Fans was on the forerunner of that. He tested the 4th Motschützen. He took the suffering on himself to have to test how to A-click the enemy and take a lot of rank points from them by A-clicking a lot of Mi-24Ds there. And yeah, the helicopters were just a bit too unstoppable. And that has changed now. And
yeah,
we'll see how that goes.
Up-vetted Aeroscouts, Vet 2 Aeroscouts, speaking of Fortitudes want to push early on, you generally don't want to up-vet your recon units unless you use them in combat. So, and this up-vetting here is a pretty big signal. I think that Fortitude wants to start the fight immediately. Looking at the deployments here, it does seem like Fortitude does want to push even to the enemy side of X-Ray. And looking at Pro Kommy's opener here, immediately Tunguska, Tor, MI-24AA, as well as 2 up-vetted Nonas. The two Nona investment this early on, and not, for instance, after the first minute, is pretty significant, I think. The Nona SVK has a road speed of 100, so it's not really a big deal to buy it after the first minute, but Pro Kommy wants to start shooting with them immediately. And with that rate of fire gained from the upvet, the aim time and the destructive power of the mortars might be able to just immediately disable even the larger and better squads.
Yeah, and also the prediction of Pro Kommy might be that he will see a toe 2 into the most obvious spot on the map from Fortitude fans, and then he can take that out quickly with the silos, which are prime spots for any ATGM because they just have such great vision around. But Pro Kommy, Fortitude fans not bringing any of those around, brings an M1IP and a Humvee tow instead. Humvee tow obviously has to be careful of any artillery fire towards it as well, but it is pretty agile, so it can get out of there. And yeah, Deltas and Aero Scouts here coming around in decent numbers for Fortitude fans as well, and not a super big forward deploy advantage here. We have a helicopter on the other side immediately as well, so the Deltas and the Aero Scouts might have a tough time. I would have expected 1 or 2 more there, but it seems to be a really consolidated push towards the center here from Fortitude fans.
Yeah, well, again, there's something, I believe was it Fortitude fans that had the tactic of having the small up-vetted MP patrols and aero fire teams? I think it was, right?
Yeah.
Just a couple. Yeah. So I actually wrote it in the comments, but I actually have a new theory of what the point of the strategy is. Having more squads and more units with high cohesion resistance and high cohesion recovery means that overall you will have more cohesion than if you invest into simply like 2 large squads with high cohesion recovery. That having the larger amount of the smaller squads means that you can quickly pull out the troops and have them recover fast. Meanwhile, all the other units you have are still on high cohesion. So it might be a way to min-max the amount of rounds that your units fire. If you have a 10-man squad and all of them get fired at, all of the 10 men go on low cohesion and lose their rate of fire. If you have 2 5-man squads, you get double the amount of cohesion. I think that might be the way to the motivation behind this.
Yeah, Deltas and Aero Scouts coming around, but yeah, there also seems to be planes here, right? Like, this isn't 1,500 points out of 42 fans, so there must be something in there. And on the other side, BMP3s and a Tor in the center, ADBVs, the Nonas, the BMP3s, UCVs coming around here for Pro Kommy as well, not letting any capture points open, and both sides seem to be pretty ready here. So I wonder when they will press the start button here. 5-minute deployment, not super long, but they seem to be ready both for a while, you know.
Yeah, might be that they are doing maths about ability to buy airplanes on minute 2, minute 3, something like this. But also, let's point out the Pro Kommy also investing into high vet units. BMP3s are on are veteran C2 as well as the T80B, and even the Tor is up vetted to 1, whereas generally people take AA units on 0 vet because the numbers are so important. But this is here, Pro Kommy recognizes that this game is gonna be fought in the first 20 minutes. So investing into or designing your deck to last for the maximum amount of time is not as effective against Fortitude fans.
So F-15 here around to protect the dabs. With a lot of wild clicking here from 42 fans. I love it. Just a back and forth to keep it patrolling. Slowly moving it a bit forward. And yeah, we have the Nonas and the Spetsrat Redguards on the other side. The Dab will push back the Spetsrat Redguard here. And we'll have to be careful as soon as the Igla comes around. Goes really deep here. Igla spotted. Igla fires. Igla misses. BRDM in the south gets got. The Spetsrat Redguard there have to be careful. Gus goes down. Spetsrat Redguard takes some damage. Decent start here with the Dabs for Fortitude fans, though not anything out of the ordinary. And no brutal losses here for Pro Kommy.
Yeah, this Aero Scouts are in position, and the Spetsras Vedka, though the Spetsras Vedka are also still alive, and no bombers, no anti. Oh wait, no. Speaking of the bomber is up. The bomber is up. 2 bombers are up actually. Yeah, the bombers are going in on the Tor. Maybe the idea here is to break the Tor immediately and then attack with the helicopters to kill the Spetsras Vedka here. Personally, I might.
Oh, Tor stunned down by the Eagle, and the Tor is down, and the Eagla is down next to it as well. They
Did you ever
taking
doubt me
both
for
AA
this?
out at the same time. One more Eagla in the south, but that means the Dabs now can just push through the middle, right?
Yeah, I mean, there is no, the Eagle got killed. There's one Eagle down south here.
Yeah.
More Eagles being bought, and Tunguska and Tor already coming up, engaging in the middle. The Daps are not moving. Every moment they do not move is time for the Tunguska to arrive.
And we don't see any capture units. Okay, we now see a Black Hawk CV coming around towards the north. Aero Scout still holding the center. For Pro Kommy waiting now for the AA, rightfully so. Don't want to get caught out by Apaches right now. There are no AT airplanes in 101st, but yeah, the Nonas now aiming towards the deltas there. That's Fortitude fans is slowly pushing forward here in game number 2.
Yeah, the Humvee tow is hidden from the Spetsras Vedka's ground surveillance radar, and so the Humvee might be able to, if something drives through, the Humvee might be able to take it out. But as soon as the Humvee gets spotted, the Nonas, the BMPs, and T-80s will be able to engage it with some smoke micro. It's probably pretty safe. And as far as reinforcements go, Fortitude Fence is buying a 0-vet IP Abrams, and it is going down south. This I think this is quite odd that there's not the helicopter attack never happened. The Tor is now on station, and yeah, a empty truck gets sent forward to spot the Humvee tow. The Humvee tow immediately repositions, and the Nona SVKs target the position from which the missile was fired from. Realizing that there is a single Humvee covering this, the tanks are moving east, and the Aero Scouts, despite being well hidden with their exceptional stealth, if they start shooting, the BMP will make short work of them.
Humvee tow
BMP
goes down to the BMP-3. Artillery landing around there. The Dab slowly pushing forward, but the new Igla is there. Tor and Tunguska moving around as well.
All reinforcements going down south are actually getting routed in from dangerous routes from Fortitude Fence here. Yeah, this fence seems to be relegating the X-ray position completely and wanting to do a breakthrough down south. I guess it's playing to form, you know.
Yeah, artillery there, though, with the Nonas is pretty dangerous. Aero Scouts in the middle, dealing with the Motostrelkis, but getting hit by a T-80BV at the same time. Well, we see more artillery, AA and more fight teams and military patrols here, military police patrols. Slowly engaging here in the south right now. As the artillery for Pro Kommy is really nice though, and annoys the heck out of the infantry in the south. Tick is stopped, and Fortitude Fence slowly tries to push forward here again.
Yeah, the infantry fights here seem to be going to Fortitude's favor. The DAP managed to do some nice damage against the BMP-3. The DAP having amazing 95% accuracy with his 30mm gun and being able to penetrate the BMP-3. But yeah, and so far, even though the Nonas are doing good damage, the cohesion damage isn't sticking because of the MP patrols and high veterancy, and Fortitude is microing these units well enough. And despite losing the middle, there is no tick because of this infantry attack here. This Fortitude isn't really playing anything to their air advantage. Their Phantom is also up, but not engaging anything right now. There is a line of Eagles, which makes being a DAP very dangerous. The DAPs do have 20% ECM, which gives them some amount of survivability against these 0-vet Eagles.
Yeah, Eagles pushing through the middle, slowly pushing forward. Nonas towards the deltas in the south, trying to get some kills there. Supply goat rolling in, the DAPs rotating around south, but there is a decent amount of Eagles now everywhere. Can constantly fire. We have the torn Tunguska there, so I'm not sure how successful this push can be here.
On long-range engagements, the Humvee down south moving in to do 50 cal fire, and in general these high-vet units doing damage.
Oh no, that Phantom is yeah. It gets a better red cat, but Tunguska and Tor, like, that is a lot of AA that you run in there. Yeah, no way that thing could have any chance of survival there. And goes down. Not really worthwhile to trade. Whilst the Nonas keep on doing the damage towards the south here.
Yeah, but the Abrams is here now. The Abrams might be getting to a pretty close position to the T-80, but if they start shooting at each other, the veteran T-80 will most likely win the fight. Not just because it has better penetration, but because it'll be able to hold way higher rate of fire compared to the IP Abrams.
Yeah, and we don't have anything moving in the north, so this stalemate here is what we are gonna be stuck with for a while here. But the Acacia already out, and Fortitude fans here planning for the long game nicely already. Yeah, pro Kommy that is. Fortitude fans still trying to get the breakthrough here in the south. Still trying to get some more trades there, with the M1s being directly involved. I'm not too sure how successful that will be though.
Another artillery piece gets bought. The M1 Acacia with the laser guided shells is firing at buildings. So far missing against the M60 team, and now aiming against another empty hall. The two Abramses up front might be able to get some good damage. There's not a lot of anti-tank units here. The T-80s are not in a position to engage the Abrams directly. Instead, they engage the Humvee TOW, both missiles missing, and Humvee TOW staying there with the worst reload speed. Oh no, this might be... No, the Humvee TOW gets disengaged in time.
Yeah, the Cobra is not the best ATGM though. Has relatively low accuracy. The TOW with the TOW 2 a good bit better there, but yeah, it's a one-shot versus a three-shot kill, so you don't want to risk getting hit there. Whilst we have a lot of military police now coming down south for Fortitude fans, the small squad formation approaching again, and a double artillery piece play now here. Two 155mm howitzers. Those are the American ones. They are only okay. They don't have the great stats of the German and the British 155mm howitzer. They fire a bit slower, but they still can do a decent amount of damage.
Yeah, and you can get them in a... They are very reasonable price considering the destructive capacity. 115 per howitzer plus 20 for the truck. And at this point, when the fighting is kind of holding still, the extra power here might give the infantry a chance to push forward. But now Pro Kommy is doing a counterattack with the mechanized forces, betting that this line is not as heavily defended after the Humvee tow gets thrown out. The gas trucks getting used as ATGM bait. Some people might call this a dirty strategy. I would call it very effective. Revealing the Humvee tow, allowing the T-80 to close in and shoot before any valuable units get fired at. And so far, BMP-3 down south, eliminating the infantry defenses of Fortitude Fence, and artillery dangerously close to zeroing in. Now with a command vehicle, the Nona SVKs are on elite veterancy with a reload time of less than 20 seconds.
Ooh, M1IP with a great hit against the T-80BV. T-80BV then gets hit by a TOW 2. So Fortitude fans winning an important armor battle here. And if the M1s can follow up here, they can potentially get a good amount of kills here. There's not much to stop them in the center. Only a UWATS of this one. Humvee tow there, driving towards the BMP-3, gets immediately taken out. BRM-1 still under fire. Aero scouts maybe want to try to help out there. No. Okay, Fortitude fans disengages a bit again. We have a Sprout in the south, a BMP-3 there as well. But the DAPs still trying to do some damage here against units in buildings, doing an okay job there. And yeah, this is a brutal grind here in the south. Both sides pretty well set up. The T-80BV kill, a really important kill here for the 101st, as if the combined arms of 27th gets too strong, if 27th can set up too much here, they will just win the fight.
There's a T-8M, there's a plane we never see. It's the upgraded Su-25 attack plane with the dual...
It got some buffs lately, and it gets the kill here on the M1IP. It goes down for it, but it gets the F-15C killed off as well, as that has to fly too close to the sun there. So, yeah, gets hit by Tor and Tunguska. The T-8 there winning out. It got buffed with better ECM lately, without any price changes for it. So the T-8M has become solid. It had got a range buff in the past already as well, and I think we have a disconnect here.
Because he surrendered.
Oh no, we had a surrender from Fortitude again.
Yeah, I was going to say just now that despite everything, look at this concave. The positions there were just really bad for Fortitude. I think Fortitude's chance to get stuff going there was immediately after killing the Tor AA missile, going in and doing a gun run with the helicopters, killing the Spetsnaz Svedka, maybe sending in the recon unit to go forward and gain some ground, threaten some reinforcements with your low rockets. That could have maybe been something, but I think the early game victories of Fortitude were just not taken advantage of. Instead, Fortitude wanted to have this very specific engagement down south, as he tends to want to have, and this was way too easy to fortify, and the threatening attacks constantly on the flank by the BMPs and the T-80s were apparently too much for Fortitude to hold.
Yeah, and Pro Kommy here winning with 1,720 to 1,245 points in KD as well. And yep, we have seen Fortitude fans tapping out in previous series like this as well. This is pretty standard. And yeah, Pro Kommy keeps on getting W's here. Fortitude fans' early aggression just not working against this stable player. And the question is, can Fortitude fans change that up? Can Pro Kommy can Fortitude fans change it out a bit? Or is the aggressive early game against a so well-positioned player like Pro Kommy just impossible for Fortitude fans here? I think you need a different playstyle to beat Pro Kommy. Like the victories we have seen against him have usually been really grindy games. And I believe Fortitude fans should just pick a stronger division instead of his favorite divisions that, yes, they work on the ladder, but even he agrees upon them not being amazing. Like KDA has some strong suits, had some strong matchups. The first one we saw just wasn't one of them. But like One of First is currently just not great. In the latest patch, it's an okay division, but it's not that amazing. And 27th is really solid there, for example. And like if you play like an 8th US, you play it similar to the One of First, but just a bit different, then that would work. But yeah, One of First, not really up to par here.
The ability to kind of give the enemy the bloody nose is required when you're going against a heavier division like 27th. You just can't allow them to transition into a continuous stream of BMP3s supported by their self-propelled artillery. That's just not you can't beat them on those terms. You have to beat them on your terms. And despite the decent engagements early on with the infantry that where Fortitude managed to micro against the artillery, frankly, just sending the empty trucks to spot the ATGMs was maybe too much. They completely revealed all the defenses and the weakness of the defenses to Pro Kommy. Should remember to put your vehicles on do not fire at empty transports, and unfortunately that means that they will not fire at empty transports with machine guns. So I would love that to get fixed. Maybe it's fixed, but nobody knows that it's fixed. But yeah, it's quite unfortunate that it's possible to do that.
And yeah, Fortitude fans here surrendering out pretty early on here, out of another one. And yeah, we'll see if he can bring it around in the next one. But that game here just didn't look so hot. Like Pro Kommy for sure seems like he has it figured out.
Yeah, I mean, Pro Kommy is just really reliable and good at playing this sort of methodical way. Pro Kommy's zero vet units are always supposed to do zero vet tasks, and Pro Kommy's vetted up units are supposed to do vetted up tasks. He really knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and we will hopefully see just a bit more meta division. Like, yeah, sure, his 11th ACAF gets banned. As said, like, he won't get that through. 8th US most likely gets banned as well, but there's still more meta divisions. Like, go for a 5th Play game or something like that here. And even if 24th is better than the One of First that we just saw in my eyes. So it's not really super meta lately as well. But yeah, there is a lot of divisions out there. 56 is better as well in my eyes, though, and a bit more down his alley. I really hope we see something a bit more competitive from Fortitude fans, because yes, those gimmicky divisions can work against top players as well, but not against Fortitude, not against Pro Kommy's playstyle. Pro Kommy's playstyle is just too clean for that.
Yeah. I don't know, like thinking about, like, as long as the picks and bans are in play, Fortitude can be kind of maybe just countered on the picks and ban stage. There aren't in this game, there aren't super safe cheeses. The game is balanced well enough that there are very few overpowered strategies. 76, but as long as even high-end players like Fortitude, just being a cheesy aggro player, just doesn't cut it anymore. Not against people like Pro Kommy, people who can basically take most situations and make the right decisions.
And yeah, I think that is part of it. Though I mean, his cheeses worked in the league so far against really high level players as well. Like, he played really fantastically against Gunter, he played fantastic against Shaichan, and so on. And like, there weren't full on cheeses there either. Like, but I think it's just that when he then picks a division that it's too narrowed down, that it doesn't work. Like, I really think it comes down to divisions more though than his playstyle, because if he opens with his opener and then he has a way out later on, then that is a completely different game than if he opens with a division that he opens with his opener, and if the opener doesn't work, he's immediately lost. Like, his trades here weren't terrible. His trades could have been better if he had a division that allowed him to pivot into a late game, and where the enemy doesn't know if he wants to pivot or can pivot into a late game. With WARNO first, the enemy know 27 will beat us in the late game. All you have to do is survive the opener. Kommy did that, won the game. Like, that is the issue here right now for Fortitude fans, and yeah, we're gonna see another one up. Airport Duel is the next map. Let's give it a look, and let's see what we're gonna get here. We're gonna get another KDA game, but when we were talking about divisions that are not so competitive right now, most likely, this time it's Kommy that picked the one that is the wild bunch here, as we get Berliner Gruppierung out of Kommy. Okay. Okay.
I mean, I guess I get the point. I mean, they've gotten buffs. If you're predicting that your opponent is playing KDA, Berliner can challenge the KDA on infantry terms. It has, but it doesn't. Berliner's problem is that it doesn't really excel on anything except the stuff that doesn't win you the fights. It excels on having. It excels on the kind of fights that people have in 10v10. The kind of fights where you have large amounts of waves and waves of infantry getting sent there, supported by BTRs, and then after you've run out of units, you send in the second wave, and so it can kind of do the. Spiritually, KDA is also such a division, but Berliner is more professional, doesn't have to rely on reservists.
Yeah, KDA versus Berliner Gruppierung here. That is a really interesting matchup. We get the Felt Depot immediately from Kommy as well. I think we have seen Kommy on Berliner Gruppierung before as well. And yeah, as we said, in this matchup, it might not be that terrible. It has the SVD, Modschützen and so on. Has the Modschützen Strellas that can help out two-shotting MiG-21s and so on. And it has T-55s, but it has T-55s. And it doesn't have long-range guns, so you have the artillery, but the lack of long-range capabilities might be a bit the issue. So you have to rely on your ATGM teams to deal with the T-62s here, because all your vehicles will get countered by them.
Yeah, I mean, the Rapiras will be all right against the T-62s as well. They can penetrate with the Bastion missile as well. And the Rapiras are decently... I mean, they have good stealth, and they're pretty cheap as well. 75 points.
So yeah, it's for the Kommy on match ball. So yeah, he can do some stuff now. Sure, he has some leeway. I still am surprised by this pick, because yeah, it's not quite what I would have expected of Kommy. Berliner Gruppierung. I'm not quite sure what the last couple of patches did to it. Like, the 4th weapon slot for sure is a massive buff to it. That part of the last patch really helped, like Wachschützen and the Strellas and so on. Like, the Strela ones having an AA and an AT weapon now, they are really nice. The SVDs with AT weapons plus SVD, like, that's the only units you need together with the Wachschützen in your infantry tab now. And the Wachschützen are really nice as well with SVD plus RPG. But the question is...
Kommy is bringing out 2 howitzers.
Yeah. I mean, he has a Felt Depot down. He wants to use a lot of supply here. And you have ARM 70s. which got nerfed over the last couple of patches. Yeah, its air tap, I believe, hasn't really gotten stronger either lately. Like, yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. AT gun buffs have helped it, because it needs those. But yeah, we will see. We'll see. I'm really excited for this. It's not what I expected, but I'm absolutely here for the show.
Yeah, I have played against Berliner, getting played by Suojeluskunta, and Suojeluskunta played it as basically like a hyper aggro BTR division, where the infantry with the Strelas and all the Metises get in a point, and then they just keep on pushing, supported by these cheap and expendable vehicles all around. And when you meet something dangerous, is sends in the UPK planes, the very cheap ground attack planes that you get with Berliner. And when it comes to airplay here, I think a lot of the stuff that Fortitude Fence is going to bring out can be pretty easily targeted by the Berliner air units. But I don't think Berliner has seed, so that's going to be a massive issue with the Book being able to one-shot a lot of the stuff that Berliner can bring out.
Yeah, Berliner doesn't have seat. Yeah, exactly. So you can't use the air tap super aggressively in it. And its planes are all relatively vulnerable as well. So, yeah, I don't think air is what you want to use here aggressively as for Pro Kommy, and that's also not what he set up for, right? Like, he wants to RT spam to victory here. Like, he wants to infantry spam and RT spam to victory, and that's what Berliner can do, and it's okay at that. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Wachaufklärer here, Special Forces, RPG, SVD, decent units as well. And on the other side, the classic KDA Aufklärer, the classic Fortitude Fence opener here. We have a lot of T-62s. Didn't work game number 1. It's a really weird spot to bring it around in game number 2 as well. Like, yes, you want to catch your opponent a bit off guard with where you bring it at. Is the town really the right place to bring it at, though, whilst leaving the whole north open? I'm skeptical, but we'll see.
I think the fact that Fortitude is not even pretending to have any map control up north kind of speaks to the opener-centric approach here. The Aufklärer spot the enemy, the T-62s go and kill the enemy, and if it doesn't work out, I'm not sure there's a plan after that.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure either, but we'll see. Osas and co moving forward.
So far, looking at the Fortitude Fence, can spot the enemy coming in. Pro Kommy also spotting in the enemy, getting way more precise information actually. So far, I think if the infantry in the infantry fight here, I think the Berliner will win. The Zagredo Triad are all right, and the KDA shouldn't have a lot of health, but with the artillery here right behind them, any kind of protracted battle, the cohesion resistance and the resolute trait and the higher veterancy of Pro Kommy's troops will win the day here. But there's not that much anti-tank. There's the Conquerors, and the Conquerors can do significant damage, but the Conquerors is only a single unit.
And yeah, Fortitude Fence is going on to that anti-tank weakness of Berliner Gruppierung, and it's just doubling down on it, because like what he bought so far is 4 more T-62s.
It's RM70 time.
Oh boy, that's a good one. Good first salvo here. Stunning the T-62s, and T-62s that are stunned, they just suck. Like, you want to have the Zagredo close to them so that they can recover their stress faster, because full-on stress T-62s, yeah, their rate of fire drops to like 4 rounds per minute, maybe even a bit lower, like 3-point-something rounds per minute, and that is not where you want to be at.
Ooh, one of the Cougs just get taken out by a long-range missile from actually a stressed-out T-62. So some
yeah, the T-62s also with their guns here helping out against the Mordschützen. Conquerors getting onto the T-62 leader. That one should smoke off here in a second. It's
So
not...
Malyutka
Oh,
aiming
the
at
Conqueror
the
just dies.
man
Okay,
tank.
but Malyutka P coming around, gets a hit, gets a stun out on the T-62s. T-62s are at least relatively high veterancy, so the stress recovery here, especially with the leader around, would be okay, but the leader tank goes down. And yeah, this push might work, but I'm not convinced yet.
Wait, since when is the MV only 11 front armor, whereas the M is 14?
It always has been.
Always has been, right? And
Yeah.
they're the same price. Wow.
Yeah, it was a trade-off, a really good trade-off, like with extra hit points versus extra frontal armor, because like that's what the real life thing is as well. Like one has the reactive armor, one has extra armor plating. But yeah, since the reactive armor has been nerfed, the T-62 MV is the worst
3
deal out
points
of
of
the two.
armor is quite significant. That I think overrides any damage here. But the Malyutka getting taken out by the MVs. The another Conquerors has been set up into a strategic position, putting out 2 Conquerors at a time here under artillery fire. Fortitude fences troops already retreating here. The tanks do not have the Zagradotria in distance to help them recover, and no supply coming as of yet. No 5 infantry and a bunch of tanks.
Yeah, T-62 M1 coming in, a lot of KDA Schützen and Zagrodiat coming in as well, and yeah, the RM70s continue to fire. That's the issue for the T-62s, because they want to get some respite here. They want to get some repairs potentially as well, but finding a spot where you can't put them without them then just getting absolutely hammered by RM70s and getting killed off, that's not going to be easy. MiG-21 trying to come around here, I don't think that is a worthwhile investment. Like, against... I mean, you got rid of one coup, but the coup still one-shot them. Like, in general, I feel like the T-62s, the MiG-21s by now have reached a point, price-wise, where they are often a really, really big gamble. Oh, the gamble is actually... Oh my goodness, where is it?
The RM70 is not moving.
The RM70 is not moving yet, no. MiG-21, it got caught out in the wrong order though. The last movement point was just a bit too close, so it didn't get off on a good attack angle. Didn't get the kill there. Osa gets the L-39 killed, but gets killed by the L-39 at the same time. And all the T-62s are so low, and we see a surrender, I guess, here from Fortitude fans.
Has Fortitude just been beaten morally? I mean, this
Yes,
was
I think so.
The final game, but yeah, I think that was it. There was nothing new coming out. The same strategy as early on, attacking the easiest place to defend on the map. Like this is, frankly, I don't. I think Fortitude was maybe a bit too early in quitting. One of my personal principles, facts of life that I have learned is that human being is what they do. If you quit early, you become a player who quits early. The next time you quit early, it's even easier, and time after that and time after that, until quitting early is part of your personality. In that way, it can kind of mentally snowball into the point where we will end up having 6-minute games of Fortitude fans losing, despite being a very competitive player. Kommy is just... Kommy's armor doesn't really have a lot of cracks to exploit. You have to go and make those cracks. And I think Fortitude just didn't believe in themselves.
Yeah, and yeah, Kommy here with the clean 3-0 swipe. And yeah, Fortitude fans might have to find some new strategies against these kind of matchups in the future. Like, yeah, and also, yeah, it was known, like, this is the issue, like, he hasn't brought up a new cheese, he has brought the same cheese, and, yeah, cheese tastes good, feels good the first time around, but if you eat the same cheese too many times, it just becomes stale, guys. So, yeah, mix up the diet a bit. Have a nice full-on platter if you are a cheeser, because otherwise he will be figured out by the semifinal, and then a guy like Kommy will just crush you. And that's exactly what happened here. With Kommy really getting a 3-0 here. And also Fortitude fans, I think, really suffering patch-wise. Like, the last patches weren't in the favor of what he does. And that, leads Kommy here into the finals. And, really good day of WARNO today. Not the best semifinal we ever had, but a really good show of why Kommy is the finalist here. Running over Fortitude fans who had a really good run up till this point, up till today in the league season. So, tough time here. Like, you got first out of the group and so on. So, not the best time today, but that really showed why Kommy is potentially the strongest player out here right now. Though, I feel like if there's someone to rival him, it's Tiberius Rancor. And if Forward can beat Tiberius Rancor, he can claim that he is the one to rival him absolutely fairly as well. So I'm really excited for a second semifinal as well.
Yeah, Tiberius, of course, being the being the favorite in that fight, but as some people have pointed out, the WARNO being a new esport, we don't necessarily know who are the players with the most potential. Players play on their alt accounts, players play together in scrims, players in certain language groups play with other people in their language group, so they don't really get revealed to the outside world. And it could be that Forward 34 getting put in the Tiberius Rancor is just going overtime, playing the Eye of the Tiger and playing a million games against people pretending to be Tiberius. But even then, I think despite even if Tiberius wins the games against Forward, I think Kommy will be the favorite here. Kommy, the Russian T-Man, the T-Man plays with good openers, unbeatable combination, really. The only thing Kommy doesn't do is play aggro, but I've never seen any need for him to do so.
Yeah, and that leaves us to the end of the today stream, guys. And the second semifinal, we will have more information when that will be played soon. There were some scheduling issues and some confusions there. But the finals will either be in 2 weeks or 3 weeks times, as we have to figure that out with the player schedule once we know who is through the second semifinal. As obviously time zones are always a bit iffy. Forward being in the US, Kommy being in Russia, us being in Europe. That always would need something complicated. With Tiberius, it would be a bit easier most likely, but Tiberius is also having some traveling up. So there's a couple of issues. We will let you know in advance on YouTube, on Discord. So see those channels. We will also get a shout out there for when the second semifinal is, as soon as we have a concrete date and time. So be on Discord, see around, and then you will figure that out. And as I said, see you around, guys. Have some fun. We will send you over to Mr. Vulcan HD Gaming, who's playing Headquarters World War II, which is a relatively new World War II strategy game, and then he will play some WARNO later on as well. If I see his title correct, maybe he has the wrong stream title in. If so, remind him.
Oh, I've seen this before. This is a turn-based game.
Yeah, this is a really solid turn-based game. Just the UI looks not so great, but everything else outside of the UI looks fantastic. Have some fun over there.
So this is basically like a 3D